Hello, everyone, and welcome to Off Air with Madison Wilkins. Today I have a very special guest. I have Mother, Wife, and First Lady of Clemson University, Beth Clements. Thank you so much for having me today, Beth.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Welcome.
Thank you so much. So we're going to kind of get into, the different role you play on campus, but I really want to know more so about Beth before Clemens. Beth before Clemson.
I know.
Before
Players are very familiar.
I mean, before both.
Yeah, they're separately.
So go ahead.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know this, but my brothers both went to Clemson in the 80s and 90s. So Beth Clements and Beth Clemson, very related, very small. One brother graduated in 84 and one in 94. And so Clemson's been a part of our family for a really long time. But my background is in education, elementary education with a master's in reading. So I taught in Baltimore City before starting a family with the president.
What's a president? Of course, and I have to ask you, and we talked about this before, but I have to ask you, how did that come about? How did you meet President Clements?
Well, he's just a little bit older than me, so he's a little bit further in his career. And I was finishing my undergrad, and he was beginning as a professor. And then I graduated, got my master's, and we only dated for 6 months before we were engaged. 6 months to plan a wedding, and then after the wedding, got pregnant. So
It was like a year.
It's gone down after that significantly, but now we were kind of in a race.
I love that. So when you studied at Towson University, when you're studying with the reading and education, where did that passion for stem from for that major area of interest?
Kind of, I was one of those girls that always wanted to be a teacher.
Love it.
Just from childhood, played teacher for years with my brothers and sister and anybody that would play. Taught Sunday school growing up. It's just, that's just sort of like teaching, special ed. That's really a passion. It isn't something that you can fake. It's kind of foreign.
Of course, yeah. I mean, so with that passion, I guess post-grad, was the planning of the wedding post-grad? Like, what did that life look like for you?
Yeah, I was teaching, and I was just so excited to marry him that I didn't really care. My mom really planned most of it. We got married 4 days after Christmas because I was a teacher, and we were trying to...
What grade were you to?
Fourth grade. So, it was a very Christmassy wedding with Christmas trees everywhere and like Scotch plaid bows. It was very, I'm sure, very pretty, gorgeous.
And I didn't even know it was around Christmas time.
We're a terrible anniversary because now that we're in, we were made at academic.
Right.
That's when we normally are at a bowl game.
Right.
We're very blessed to hear that. But for the last 14, 15 years, we've been celebrating at a bowl game.
That with
all of our favorites.
I know for me with dance, like when I'm leaving, I'll have Christmas Day, and then it's like, all right, pack my bag, one's bowl game. So
that's exactly what we were doing. And some Christmases we've been wherever we're going.
Yeah.
And so now we try to wait at least to travel Christmas night, right? So we can be with our little grandkids and everything. But
so speaking of the grandkids, you have 3 children.
We have 4.
4 children.
Yes.
What are the 3 bonus children?
Yes, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
You're right. Family makeup. How does that?
Yeah. So the 3 older kids, our 9 kids, are married.
Right.
And I have 3 extras.
Right.
And then we have Grace. And then now we have 4 grandchildren and 1 coming in 1 month.
Yes. And I remember, we do not know
the gender.
Okay.
My son and his wife are really old-fashioned, which they don't find out, and it's so heightened the experience.
So how are they're just decorating very neutral right now? Like,
yeah, it's neutral.
Very neutral.
The baby's moving out into a big girl room, and then they'll make.
How old's the baby?
She will be 22 months when the baby's born. Oh, so she's 21 months. Yeah, she's great. Her name's Eliza Grace.
Oh my gosh. So obviously family plays like a huge role in your life, and how does it like really play into the role of the Clemson family, and then more specifically Clemson life? Because I know you have just such a phenomenal.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm such a mom. And I just feel like the mom to all the students on campus. I feel like it's just a natural extension of who I am from being a mom to my own kids. And then when the parents move them in, I feel like in some ways they kind of turn them over to the president and I. And I know they probably don't feel that way, but that's how I feel.
Right.
And so when we have great things happen on campus, I'm super, super excited and happy and proud. But when we have tragic things happen on campus, I take that very hard as well. And then, my Clemson Life students, Learning is for Everyone. That's a program for young adults with intellectual disabilities. And they live on campus, and then they also live on downtown when they're juniors and seniors. And they are my absolute favorite people. I think they just represent our university so well. And I think our Clemson University students become better adults because of this program.
100%. I mean, I just, even when, like, when you first mentioned, you know, you feel like you become a parent, when I know I came in as a COVID freshman. Yeah. I remember being like, my parents could be so scared and be so nervous, and like, they felt like we were in such good hands here. So it was never a concern for them.
Yes, you know, my husband and I were just talking about the fact that that experience was so different for you as a COVID freshman. But we were looking at other universities. We just were talking about other universities and how they handled it.
Right.
They shut down and didn't really reopen. And as awful as it was for you to come back and wear a mask and have to be in small groups, you were here and you were part of the campus. And so, I mean, it was a loss, but you also were able to reclaim
the best. Like, obviously, I chose Clemson prior to even COVID really coming about, but it was probably best case scenario. Like, I couldn't imagine being from New Jersey and like coming down here. Like, it was definitely, like, I didn't feel like I was out of luck. I didn't feel like I was in a bad situation, you know. But no, and then in addition with the Clemson Life experience, it's a phenomenal program. I know with some of the involvement I'm involved in, like getting to see some of them become and be a part of that family, it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they want to be involved in all aspects of campus, so they really are. I mean, all the varsity sports and some of the club sports include them. They go to clinics. They're the managers. I mean, our daughter Grace is the manager.
Can we
She's there in Nannerase. She's at practice right now. And she's just fully immersed in our campus here. And just like all the other 43 students of Clemson Life, they are too. Right? And it's really what the world should look like. We are lucky enough to have it here. And it's moved from Clemson University to Clemson, South Carolina. And, you know, our business owners, they are employing them. They're investing in them.
Right.
And I'm such a firm believer that we are a better people because of the Life program. When you segregate anyone of any difference, you're doing a disservice to the world. And we are being inclusive. We are being diverse in a way that the world can model. I really, really believe what we have here is just, I mean, it can make me cry.
That is what I was sitting there like,
we're a model. And the desire of us from Clemson Life is that you students, you'll graduate and you'll go out and you're going to make sure that you employ and give opportunity to students that are not students, young adults or older adults with intellectual disabilities, that you'll take a chance on them and let them get gainfully employed, let them have purpose within wherever it is that you find yourself employed. Get your boss, get them to hire them. When you're the boss, you hire them.
They're so deserving and they're so worthy of those opportunities. And like, that's just one of the many beautiful things about Clemson too, like when offering the opportunity. I mean, for Grace, upon her coming to Clemson here, like, what did that look like? You guys, I'm sure you were so excited for her to be a part of a program like that, but I didn't even realize it was not even offered at other universities.
Oh yeah. When we were looking to move here to this wonderful job opportunity, we were at West Virginia University.
Right.
And when we found out about the Life program, it was a game. It was like game over. We're going for this job, like this, you know, jumping in complete.
Right.
And it was really just a dream at that point that maybe she'd get to go. But if she didn't qualify, I at least knew that she'd be around the program and around people that thought like Jim and I. And that somehow she would, you know, get gainful, you know, an opportunity to have a job and have purpose. Because whether you have an intellectual disability or not, we all have to and need purpose. We need a reason to get up and get ready and complete tasks. And if you don't have purpose, I mean, that's where a lot of depression comes in. And, you know, we have a responsibility to take care of the least, the lost, and the lonely.
I love that. And it shows, like, with the way you guys serve campus, the way you pour so heavily into every single student individual on this campus. I mean, I felt that even as a sophomore, like coming in freshman year, like we talked about, which is a little bit different, but I even felt it freshman year. Just by the way, sweet, you were so deliberate about wanting to make sure our experience stayed as close to normal as possible.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, with that, I mean, now that we're kind of back to normal, what is like a day in the life for you look like? I know we talked about your...
Yeah, it changes a little bit. Well, mine changes every day.
Of course.
You know, I can have a day where I'm completely going all day and into the evening, and then I can have a day where I don't really have anything Clemson, and then I could pour into my children and grandchildren and do all the things. But what I do is work alongside President in relationships with students, alumni, and donors. And it's just really building friendships,
I love that. It's so cool. That's so cool. It's so fun.
Yeah, we want to bring awareness to our university so that people will, jump behind us and support our programs and our initiatives and can share all that.
I mean, clearly the university saw you fit to be just in that role to begin with. I mean, so I remember we discussed on October 1st, 2021, became an honorary alumni.
Yes.
That experience. How was that? That's just
such a surprise. So honored. And it happened for my husband and I on the same day, which meant a lot to me because, I'm kind of the one that's behind the scenes. I wouldn't say I'm the quiet one because I'm definitely not the quiet one. But, he's out in the front more. He's the face of the university. And for the university to see that I'm worthy of that distinguished honor meant so much to me. And I loved it.
I love that. I mean, we were talking about, like, confident and everything. So to speak, like, being a part of that alumni network is just an experience like no other. I mean, like, as we round out this year too, it's becoming so real, honestly, like as we enter senior year and everything like that. But I mean, I guess one thing, I've mentioned to you before, my sister's coming in the fall. What kind of things would you tell like your incoming freshmen?
Just really get involved, right? Sign up at is it called Tiger Prowl?
Right.
Whatever that.
Tiger Prowl, on the organization fair.
Yeah, I want her to go there and walk around and sign up for some things and learn about some things. Try out different organizations, get involved, serve your campus as best as you can, and be active because you're going to learn about who you are more and how you can serve and how you can just grow as a person here on our campus because there's so many opportunities. We don't have any students that just go to class and go back to their
never.
Our student body is incredibly involved. Right. I mean, we're so proud of that.
I mean, would you say, like, I mean, you mentioning it, like, we're very involvement-based school. Like, do you believe, I guess, in the sentiment that, like, when, like, pouring so heavily into something, you get so much out of it?
Oh, yeah. It's that old saying, the more you put into something, the more you get out. It's everywhere. And, you just get, like, 4, maybe 5 years if you're lucky on a campus. And just, I feel like I just said this to my husband before you got here. I take on people's emotions that I'm just feeling for the seniors. I feel a heaviness for them because they don't want to leave.
No.
They're just, this place is like a little slice of heaven. It's a little piece of magic. And our students, they're just so happy here. They don't want to go.
No.
I'm a firm believer the best is yet to come. So this was it's a magical time, but there's other great things in the future for all of the students.
I mean, even entering my senior year, it's like this type of feeling where it's just like even knowing where you're meant to go after, it's just leaving this place. It just brings such a sense of security, such a sense of, it's just home. Like it really, and I never thought like, coming to college, it was like, okay, well, I'm from New Jersey, but coming down here and that's where I went to school. But like this has become like second rate. Like the people, the bread, just.
There's something in these hills.
There's something in these hills. No, it's so real. There's nothing like it.
Well, the nice thing is you're going to leave your sister in these
That's true. I feel like a part of me is still going to be.
And our alums stay involved. They don't just go off and forget about it. You'll be coming back here for games, for reunions, for opportunities. So
do you find that it's, I mean, I guess, with your, with the duality of your brothers coming here and then you like being an honorary alumni, do you find that it feels any like different? Like you probably still feel a part of the family, but like how do you think it differs?
Oh my gosh. I'm so honored to serve in the capacity that I do. The longer I'm here, the more our family gets degrees. I mean, my daughter, Hannah, has an undergraduate and a master's. My son-in-law, nieces, nephews. I mean, I think at the last ring ceremony, my husband said we have like 12 rings between us.
Wow.
And that's a lot. So I don't know. It's a generational thing,
You really do become. I didn't even realize in me coming here, starting a legacy that I was like having a sibling come here, and now it's funny because I have a little brother. Probably watching this, it's gonna be like, I don't like he's applying. And everyone's like, oh, are you gonna go? And it's like, you might find yourself here. It's awesome. I mean, it just
yes, and then you'll share that bond for many years with your actual siblings, not to mention your actual sorority sister,
of course, which I love. Yeah, I love. That's what. Of course, we talked about that.
Yes, green.
I'm in my green. We're in that's pretty very college, of course. But I know you also read about this sorority.
Yes.
What was that like with like the sister in college? Like how would that?
Oh, so important. It still is to me today. All right, I was in a Phi Sigma Sigma up at Clemson University, and I was super involved. President, did all the things. Loved it. I'll be a sorority girl till I'm long gone.
I love it.
I just love it. And I think it's so important. And I think, as I look at alumni that come back, some of our most involved alum were Greek, right? So they're invested here. There's a reason to come back. There's organizations that are still going on. It's a really cool thing.
No, I'll definitely, I know for a fact I'll come back at that level, especially like even beyond like different homecomings. I'm going to always be from back to Clemson team where
You'll be an alumni association all around the world.
So I read like somewhere you were an avid reader.
Yeah, I love to read.
What do you love to read? Like,
I read a lot of different things. I told you last time we spoke, I like Francine Rivers.
Yeah.
It's like Christian historical fiction.
Put in read my list.
And maybe that's summer.
Yes.
I read I read the Bible front to cover every year. I get through it once. When I was a mom, I was always reading, books about raising kids and developmental this and that. And I'm really excited. I don't have to read that anymore, but I do pass along a lot of that to my kids. I'll just read anything. If people recommend it, the only thing I won't read is like kidnapping and that kind of scary dress kids out there that like to avoid in real life.
Right.
I'm not going to read it in my book.
Right. It's like, I want to see because I watch that. But if I'm not watching the movies, I'm definitely not going to be sitting there thinking about it by choice. Like,
I like to live in La La Land at first. I'm totally ever after person.
So I like the hopeless romantic, the happy after, like we just all end in that harmony. I love it.
Yeah.
With reading, because I mentioned to you, I was like, I'm working on reading the Bible front to back. Like,
yeah,
how is that? How is your faith connected with this position, connected with you finding yourself here at Clemson and capacity?
I don't think, faith is really the most important part of who I am. And I think the older I get, the more important it is to me. I just think, it helps faith over fear. The world is just full of lots of crazy things right now. And if I didn't have faith, I think I would probably be in a more of a state of panic about what's going on in our world. As you've got Russia and China and Iran and all the things, not to mention all the messed up things we have in our country.
Yeah.
So it just helps me very much stay grounded. A big word in my life is hope. When my daughter was getting diagnosed years ago, that was just a word, and it was all over my house. And just, I don't know where I would be without that hope. And especially like as a loved one's passed, I don't really know how you would get through that without feeling like, okay, this is a temporary goodbye.
Yeah.
And I'll see you later on the other side.
Always. No, I really resonate with that so heavily, just even with my calling to Clemson, even bringing us to this conversation. Like, I just think like my faith like is stuff my walk with faith, like that keeps me going each day. And that's something that I really, really value and I grew up on. It's my foundation everywhere. So like when I tell you, I could feel that. I really do. I think the Lord really guides every single step of the way. Like even as a high school senior, like trying to figure out where I was going to find my place in college, and then and then I believe Clemson just has such a heavy Christian community that pours so heavily as well.
I Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Love it.
It's the largest student organization here on campus. I just think that says so much about who we are. The second largest organization we have on campus is Clemson Life Volunteers. That's another thing that speaks to who we are as a community and as a campus.
Right. No, we are just constantly looking to where we can volunteer, constantly where we pour into other people. And I knew I wanted to be at a university that was going to not only push me, but also keep me very, very grounded in a way where I'm surrounded by other individuals that want the same thing.
Right.
Like everybody here cares so heavily about family.
Right.
And the tradition, which segues into like my next question for you, is just how have the Clemson traditions become such a big part of like your like.
My favorite one is the ring ceremony, which you just got your ring, and it's really just Colonel Ben's guarded. That whole story, that's such a historical part of Clemson University, and he served our country so well. And long story, but he traded his Clemson ring for survival, basically. So, and it just ties everybody together as we all travel and go to and fro, and you just buy one of those rings. I mean, it'd be really hard not to walk and go, hello, hi, I'm too.
Right.
That's an awesome tradition. Gosh, I mean, every Saturday in the fall, what better tradition than to go watch football together? Tiger walk. I mean, we have so many deeply held traditions here.
It's beautiful. It truly is. I mean, I give tour up like I give tours here, And when I tell you, it's so moving to be on a tour with several students, and then an alumni holds a story, and they're like, "Oh, I'm trying to get my kid to go here," and it's like, "I why?" Or they're just finalizing.
Kind of true.
It's beautiful. It really is. Like the ring. I remember coming as a freshman. I was like, "Oh, like I had a high school ring. Samples of rings." Not really understanding the meaning of it because a freshman, you're still trying to find your way and figure out what you want to get involved in, where you want to go, and then by the time you reach those many credits, you're well established and you know what you kind of close to what you want to do when you're looking back at these experiences. And I genuinely wake up every morning, I look at this ring, and it really symbolizes like my experience at Clemson. Yes, to come and just I'm gonna wear this the rest of my life.
Oh, it's never coming off. You'll be on a tour here with your
with my ring
and your child.
With my child,
I don't know where I want to go. I'll be like,
they're not here. It's like you're out. It's such a beautiful place. Like but even. I just think the ring brings so many people together. Like, and just even wearing Clemson, like flying back to New Jersey. I'm like, gosh, the airport. It's like, go Tigers. Like, where'd that come from? I'm like, it's so cool. It's so awesome.
Very, very special.
It's awesome. Now, you're a yogi. We've talked about this. How'd you get into yoga? How did that?
I kind of did it simultaneously with my daughter Maggie.
Fun.
And I just found that it serves my brain, my mental wellness, as well as my body. I think I did it for my body, right? And then I realized it really just so clears my head. And every time I'm on the mat, I'm like, this is the best thing ever. And then I'll be like, why did you just miss 2 weeks? And then I'll go back into it heavily, as anything, you ebb and flow. But my daughter Maggie and I went to Aruba about 5 or 6 years ago for a 1 week intensive with island yoga. Anyway, Yoga Girl was our teacher. She's kind of famous. We follow her. That's now in Sweden. But anyway, just it's such a great community.
That is so fun. It's full groove. Oh, I love that. I mean, I grew up doing a little bit of yoga incorporated with my dance background and everything. And like when I tell you, whether I'm like, really just like, we're in practice trying to dance and figure it out, it's like just such a great way to clear your head. I mean, I definitely have I'm like on the field, like on game day, and it's just like, you're not even thinking about the movements that you're doing. Like 88,000 people. It's just, that must be very cool. It's to be down there hearing. It's awesome. I mean, the game day experience, the game day experience is like nothing else. I mean, and it'd be the president's boxes package, and it was just like, oh my God, it's so settled. It's so awesome. I mean, we should change lives. We should. Sure. I think we should. I think I'm at serve, and I will go down there and do my very. So that's so perfect with your phone. No, I mean, I guess, your day life changes day to day.
Yeah, it does.
A game day,
game day's crazy. It's really crazy. If we have a home game,
yes.
Normally our weekend starts on a Thursday night.
Wow.
We'll be doing something with people that are in town, whether it's an award ceremony or donor dinner. It's something. Then Friday, kind of the same stuff. Lots of times, as we have things going on all the time. So all day. Friday something, Saturday something. By Saturday night, we're about dead.
You're dead?
We're about dead.
Out.
And it depends. We're so fortunate. Lots of times we get those night games, which will really, really, just about crush you.
That, yeah.
Because, the day starts so early and it just goes and goes.
And it goes to like 2 a.m. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't know the football games were this long.
Right.
Why am I getting home at 2 a.m.?
I'm so tired. And then my voice is gone and everything, but it's all fun. And I get energy from the energy of other people.
Me too.
But by Monday, like at a home game weekend, Monday, I'll be like, okay, could everybody please just leave? Could everybody just go back to their lives?
So not quite as happy. Yeah, the praise and no game of days are an all weekend affair. And it's like the game itself is probably like what? 3 hours, however long. And it's like with practice, it starts early and and then Sundays are like you're dead. Like you are just like, I can't move, I can't do anything else. It's like, I gotta get the schoolwork done. It's just, I know. It's awesome now. I mean, there's nothing like a Clemson game.
Oh my goodness, they're very lucky.
I mean, I remember my family came to watch me for the first time, on the field specifically for last year. And it was an experience of nothing else. They were like, we're so overstimulated. They're like, they favor military appreciation. They saw that they were shut it into the stadium.
Yeah.
We're like, the flyover is great. I was not here for the balloons, actually. I didn't even realize.
Oh, so you've never known about the balloons?
I see pictures.
Yeah, that was really a cool event. And I was here like in 1981 or 2 when my brother was here, and they set a world record that day for letting off the most balloons.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cool.
We'll forever set records for things like that.
We're out. Yeah, I think we do our home games really cool. Right, at the Pledge of Allegiance, we do a prayer, we do the Star Spangled Banner.
Right. So, with everything you're mentioning, there's just immense Clemson tradition. There's so much. So you talked about the events for the incoming freshmen towards my sister. I mean, as a rising junior, as one last go around here.
Yeah.
What is your, final advice for the senior exiting this semester, the senior next semester? Like what?
Oh, do it all. I think don't wait until the last 10 days of the semester to do all the senior bucket list stuff. Start the first week you get back here and just do it and take it in and enjoy it slowly instead of all at one time. Have you ever been to the top of Tillman?
I have not been to the top yet.
Got to go there. You got to Carolyn. You got to do that. I mean, I know you're not supposed to get in Reflection Pond, but you might want to put a toe or two. I just say do everything that the people before you have done, but don't rush it. Enjoy it. Take it in. And just remember that this is a special time, but you're going to come back, and the next stage will be better. And I mean, I have loved every decade of my life more than the last one. And if you have that attitude of gratitude, it's not going to be like, oh, this is over. It's just like that part is got a little bow on it. But the next things are going to be great too. Starting your career is going to be so gratifying. Starting, your family, all those things that are ahead of you, I think it really gets better and better.
And you always give such long-lasting advice. It has allowed me to understand that, even though, like you're saying, my time at Clemson is coming to an end, it's like there's so much fun waiting ahead. I mean, they said college are the most exciting years of your life, so I'm like, does it get less fun for you? But you've always mentioned it always gets more fun.
I think life gets better and better.
And I wish too.
It's not like you're going to leave Clemson and you're barred from coming back.
Right.
It's just different. But I mean, different is good. We all, we're blessed when we're all different and have different gifts, and the next phase of life will be great. And my husband and I recently entered a next phase, which is being a grandparent. It's awesome. And I don't care that I'm getting older. I mean, I can't say I love it when I look at the man. It's like,
what? Oh, you look, oh my gosh.
But you can't get to be a grandparent without the changing features that come with that.
Right.
But so many people don't get to do what I'm getting to do in this phase of life. So enjoy each phase and don't mourn, that they're over. Just be super pumped that you got to do the things.
You were so awesome. You've always been so cool. You are so much for meeting with me today.
I can't wait to see what you do. I'll be following your career.
No, I know. You're awesome.
Thank you.